Now then, welcome back to Material Energy Cube from the Feed the Beast Launcher third-party Modpacks, winner of Jampacked 2014. I love that intro. That's amazing intro. That's the winner of Jampacked 2014. Yeah! Gotta love an intro where something is announced as a winner of. Yeah! It's fun. Right, well, this episode, guys, this episode is a Minechem episode. Now, this whole episode stems from a comment from episode 21. Episode 21. Oh, I love these little potion shelves. Felix G told me about a little cheaty thing that you can do with Minechem that gives us infinite power. Now, if we take a look down here, right? If we take a look over here, right? This part of the monument over here is a massive display case for Minechem. And at the moment, it's unpowered, unconnected to the system, and all that jazz. And as you can see up there, I've got a little hole in the ceiling. So my plan today is to use Minechem as a cheaty power source. Now, it's cheaty because it's a bit of an exploit in there. Last episode, we tried to use pink as a cheaty exploit and didn't get too far. So I'm probably going to use that system there over there to try and set up that cheaty power. Cheaty power for the win. Right, what we've got, right, is... let me just quote the comment for you. This is from Felix G. There are some cheaty ways to get infinite power. The one I am using is the infinite leather bug in Minechem that you pointed out to me. You can use this to get infinite amounts of creatine, which, if decomposed twice, gives you carbon, which can easily be turned into charcoal, that can then be used in steam dynamos. And there you go, infinite energy. Well, if you remember back to season 1, where I found a way to make leather because I wanted to get myself a book. So I needed leather, and I already had the sugarcane, so I just needed to get leather. And I decided that I could find a way to decompose this leather tunic. And I'm going to need a crafting bench over here as well to show you how this works. And let's take a crafting table. There we go. So, infinite energy begins with infinite something. Infinite leather. So, first up, the Decomposer. The Decomposer takes this leather tunic, okay, and it turns it into 3 creatine. Creatine. Yes, 3 creatine. And then, creatine can make leather. 1 creatine makes 5 leather. So I shift-click it to get it out, and I get 15 leather from those 3 creatine. Okay? Now, I can also put that in there, and I got nothing then. Dang. Okay, well, never mind. If I put the right amount in here to make a leather tunic again, I still have a profit of what would have been 7, but I put 1 through the Decomposer. Then if I put that through the Decomposer again, I could get more than 5, which means I've got 6. And then I can put that into there and shift-click away, and I'm up to 36 leather, which means that I can then do this again. Now, I did all this in Season 1. Leather tunic with 28 leather profit, because I wasted 1, yeah? So I'm making a profit on leather. Now, the way that this is running, the way that this is possible, is to do that. We can't risk just throwing the leather back away, making the creatine, and then putting the creatine in there. We can't risk that because we may lose one every now and again. It might be worth the risk, I don't know. This is all experimental, and this is me doing it for the first time. So we could end up with a big fail like the pink wool. The pink generation. We could end up with, at the end of the episode, that I've got nowhere. But the first part of this episode, we're just going to explain the theory, and then I'm going to start setting some stuff up. So, anyway, with creatine, we can make leather. Okay? So let's start with that again. Let's make some more creatine. Now, creatine we know can make a profit on leather, so that I can end up making a huge profit over on above creatine overall, right? But then you decompose creatine twice, according to his words, and that gives us 309, crystine, and proline. I don't know, but I've been told that's what it is. Okay, now the first one of these, let's decompose it a second time, and we're going to get carbon. 4 carbon from that and a few other bits and pieces. Right? We're getting hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Now, I know from watching Minechem video by Bevo, with a little tutorial that I've mentioned before that I looked at, as my only real source of information, that these have brackets next to them. So the H with a 1 next to it, and the N with a 7 next to it, and the O with an 8 next to it. There is a machine that we've got over here. This makes a machine, a fusion thing, right? And we've got a lot of parts for it already, so I could probably make it, but I don't understand it well enough just yet to go ahead and do that. Plus, it's going to need a lot of power, right? So this is the infinite power to power, mainly going to power the Victory Monument, but also could be powering that as well. So, now we've got carbon, okay, from one of those. Now we take one of those, and we also get carbon, we get some more hydrogen, we get some more nitrogen, we get some more oxygen, and we also have got some sulfur. I'm not bothered about all these. What I'm bothered about is the carbon. Now we take one of those, which we got 3 off the other thing, process that, and we're going to get carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Okay? So we've ended up with 12 carbon from 1 creatine. And we get 5 creatine per leather tunic. So that's 12, 24, 48 carbon that we can get from 1 tunic. No, more than that. 48, 50, 60. Yeah, something like that. My maths might be a bit off. I'm not really thinking it through. I'm just like trying to explain really fast. Now, carbon can make charcoal. Okay, so I can make 1 charcoal per carbon. No problem. But it's there. The recipe's there. Okay, then 8 carbon will make a coal. And a coal or a charcoal. So what I want to find out is whether coal or charcoal is better to produce. Because I could set it up to put 8 in there as a recipe to make coal all day. I can make carbon all day. And currently we have furnaces. We have a couple of these furnace generators. Okay, furnace generators, and as you can see, I've just done a little bit of research. A furnace generator costs me a load of iron, a block of iron, a furnace, and a couple of bits of redstone. Now, all of the machine, the factory blocks can turn into iron. So iron is not in short supply. I have got a whole AE system full of blocks that I can turn into pure iron. So iron is not a worry. The furnace, it's cobblestone. I've got a cobblestone gen, not a worry. A little bit of redstone. So it's going to cost me 2 redstone really, because everything else is pretty much free. 2 redstone to make a furnace generator. I just so happen that I've already got 2 furnace generators. I don't know where I got them from, but let's put them down here. And let's see if we've got a piece of charcoal. Charcoal. No, we don't. Let's get some wood and make a bit of charcoal just quickly then. Let's get 32 and process some charcoal. Just because. I also need to charge up my energy cell so I could make this normally as well. So let's do that. Now let's see, of these 2 empty generators, yes they are empty, let's just close the NEI off. Yep, they're both empty. Okay, let's put 1 piece of charcoal in that one. The furnace generator outputs at a power level of 80 RF per tick. Coal, we'll put 1 coal in this one. And again, still 80 power. So it's the same power, and it's the same sort of countdown before it pumps out any energy. A piece of charcoal has given us 24,000 energy, and a piece of coal has also given us 24,000 energy. gives us the same energy, 24,000. That's the first time I've run that experiment. I was kind of expecting that coal would potentially give us more because it's coal, but no. It gives us exactly the same amount, but in that little system there, it costs us 8 times as much. So I can set up furnace generators using charcoal system, or I could use steam dynamos. I don't know where my steam dynamos are. I've got a couple here. There we go. And do I have a water source? I can do infinite water, so this isn't a problem. I need a water bucket, really. Let's see, bucket. Let's have an empty bucket of water to fill it full of water. If the charcoal and the coal both burn at the same rate, then there's no real worries for me here. Let's get a little bucket of water. And let's put this over at the experimental station. I don't really want it facing one of those blocks, though, just in case it messes up our experiment here. Let's put it there. There we go. Okay, so I could put some water in it. Pop. There we go. So now it's got 1 bucket of water, which I can do infinite water, so I'm not worried about that. Let's put a piece of charcoal in to get the actual experiment, because I don't think it's going to make us any difference whatsoever whether we use coal or charcoal, other than charcoal is cheaper to make using this little system here, making it out of carbon. So let's see how much power a steam dynamo produces with 1 bit of charcoal. Considering a steam dynamo's possibly a bit more expensive, is it going to produce the same amount? Let's see. Come on, cranking it up. It's nearly at the 24,000 mark. 24,000 and beyond. So the steam dynamo takes 1 piece of charcoal and makes more RF overall. 28,000. So an extra 4,000 RF that it can output. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let's take this, and the recipe for a steam dynamo requires a ton of copper. And a redstone transmission core, which is silver, I believe. So I need a load of copper for that. I don't really have the copper. As we know from forestry experiments with the pink wool, I don't really have a large supply of copper. I've got a few copper gears, so I can make a couple, copper dust and all that, but I don't have the copper. One thing that I can do in Minechem in the future is use one of those big machines, the multi-block structures, to make what I need. And that is why Minechem is in here. Forestry, Minechem, bees and all that sort of stuff are meant to make a load of small elements that I can then use this big multi-block structure from Minechem to pretty much make anything I need whenever I need it. Right? Now this may be a little bit of a bug, a little bit of an infinite cheaty bug thing, but we're going to try and make the most of it. If only to experiment with Minechem. And if it gets fixed by then, hopefully I'll have something else planned. So, I can't really afford to make a load of steam dynamos. So, I'm going to throw the steam dynamos away for now, until I've got more copper supplies. For now, though, I can make a load of furnace generators, and those furnace generators only produce 4,000 less. So next up, I've got to do a little bit of an automation system somewhere. And I think I've got a good place for it. So first up, we're going to bring the cable around to the area that we want it to be in. So I've pulled it up and out of the little hole. I'm going to bring it all the way across. I'm going to leave space for an outer wall block, so I can potentially wall it up eventually. And make this like an inner wall, or inside the inner wall. And this AE cable can also connect to anything inside its area. That's why I've gone around the outside instead of zigzagging it all the way across. Which would have probably been a shorter solution. Let's say a shorter solution, yes. And now I'm going to have another energy cube like that for the AE system. Now, I can't remember how high this was. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. 5 high altogether, so it goes down 1, so 6 high altogether. So let's put that in this corner here first. And if the back wall's going across there, I'm going to put it here, against this area. Okay. And this is fully Yep, I've lost on. This is a fully charged AE in a box, ready for me just to get on with using the energy that's already stored. These are cubes that are found lying around the station so far during my quest. Okay, so that block there has given us the full 1,440 MJs that sits in there of a full stack like that, and I'm just using a very small amount overall right now just by running the controller. I've also given access to this side here so that in the future I can add more power going in somehow, some way, somewhere. Alright, now the important little thing there is that that needs to be kept free and able to take power in. So I've got to put power going into that from the back here. So my furnace generator idea, I'm going to have to set the furnace generators and things up in front here in order to go into that, or maybe in front here to go into that, and I should still be able to access that from an angle here. Should do. So let me get the basics of that all set up first, and also grab the other bits and pieces from upstairs. Right, with a bit of a furnace generator, those furnace generators I've already gathered. They're just sucking the energy dry out of there at the minute through leadstone energy cells going into the AE controller, which is basically just pumping it back up to where it was and presumably keeping it stable. So this will eventually like stop. It's sort of fluctuating. It can't quite take it all. It can't quite put it anywhere. So it's trying to take some, and it's probably bouncing backwards and forwards in the leadstone energy cells at the minute. But that's that there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to need to do, I'm thinking of leaving space for this, by the way. So I'm thinking of leaving space for another few, and maybe having it so I can layer it up if I need to, just in case I need to. I'm going to put an export buses, basic export buses on the back of them, and energy on the front of them, so that I can export the charcoal and then take the energy and put it into the AE system. I also need to connect up the overall thing. So for now, I'm going to put that there but replace it. I'm going to put that there but replace it in a bit. And bring this in behind them like this. And potentially just go into the AE system like that. That'll work. So now I've got all of these storage monitors online. And it's slowly but surely going to start using up that energy. Now, it's not using a lot because I'm gaining more than 27 MJ per tick off this one at the minute, which is now filtering out at 80 per tick. So it should be keeping up right now, but it's going to run dry in a minute, and then we're going to start seeing this figure go down dramatically because of the storage monitor. Now, what I've put in here is I've put all of my current materials that I've got that I had in my inventory. And like so. Now I'm going to put an empty one in there and go down to the Victory Monument, and let's, for the first time, this is the Victory Monument thing going on here, but we're doing it before we've actually got started on it. Now this should, in theory, light up with all of the possible elements that we need to collect in the table of elements. The is it a periodic table? Something like that. But some of them don't have anything, and I don't know why they don't have anything. Maybe I can salvage them and use them elsewhere. This is an empty drive in there. This drive is going to have the stuff in that I've got so far. So Victory Monument wise, I've got that up there, which is probably element 1, I'm guessing. I don't know. But there's all the elements that we pick up will now have a little location on the storage monitor. Okay, so there's our Victory Monument sorted out. We've already achieved something this episode. Now I've got to go and craft a load of import-export buses and things like that from the AE crafting side of things in order to make myself a way to automate these little beauties. And I might need to make another one of these as well. Let's see. Okay, well, we're nearly there. Nearly there. I've got the chemical decomposer. I'm using this Minechem now a lot to make the minerals go further. So, like, this is my iron supply. I'll just put half a stack in there. And then I'll stick all of the iron into there. Grab all the iron ingots. and so on and so on. Grab a load of iron ingots. I should be 3 times the iron that I was getting before. But I need things like that because this recipe here is a lot of iron, and that recipe is an iron block. But I got a load of pistons from downstairs, so that's not too bad. I already had the pistons. Oh man, oh man. The map is completely empty of mobs when I've got no chambers on. It's cool. It allows you just the freedom to work on stuff, which is nice and funky. Right, this is the 3rd of these I've made. I didn't realise how many I was going to make. I need an export bus. I need to make another couple of export buses, actually. But this is the sequence of events, right, at the minute. I'm going to be making an infinite leather loop somewhere. I'm going to have to do an infinite leather loop here, no doubt. Infinite leather, and then you put the leather into this chemical decomposer, and it will go through this hopper and out the other side. So, do that again. Yeah, there we go. And then it'll go through the hopper. I've currently turned this hopper off because I wanted to check that it was working. So it goes into that hopper, into that hopper, into that hopper, and away. Into the interface. Now the ME interface is hooked up to this import bus from here, which is on the carbon recipe. And now I need to tell it to put all the other things in there apart from hydrogen, sulfur, crystal, and all that. So I'm going to need a precision export bus on the next one. I reckon this one I'm going to have an export bus for leather. I was thinking about doing the crafting of the leather myself, or getting the auto crafting to do things for me like that. Right now, though, that's what I've got started with. I've got a load more leather upstairs, so I'm okay. And I'm going to save one of those in case. And I'm going to feed into the system, not export that. That's an old export bus, I see. Export into the system leather tunics. So I will come along and I will put leather tunics into the system, like so. It will get exported out once I've connected it all up. It will get exported out from here like this. From here like this. There we go. It will export out. It will go through the system and enter into there. Right. And then it will make all of these extra things, such as these ones here. Crystalline steel, all these. Yeah. And then we'll take these, and I get rain again. Is it night time? Can I sleep? And then we'll get the carbon made, and then the next stage happens to put the carbon away properly. Da 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 da. Okay. So a precision export bus. I should have stopped that export. Precision export bus requires a normal export bus, which I don't have the any things like this. That I've got those probably. Let's have a look. That. Yep. There we go. That's another one. And then that. Missing tons of stuff because I've just been making a load. So what am I missing? More iron and glass. Well, I got the glass underway. And I got the iron in my inventory. Glass and iron. There we go. Now let's try that again. Export bus. That. Ding. There we go. Let's make a couple of those. I know I'm going to need them. Precision export bus is that one. Yep. Let's make 2 of those. And then precision export bus. Let's see, have I got the gold? No, I haven't. Okay, so I've got to make some more of these. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Get 2 more of those. I'm making lots and lots and lots of these things at the minute because the AE system's going to be like hungry for it. Hungry for it all. But generally, that's all I'm doing is precision export bus into the next stage. So I will make leather next as a cycle. So I've got to make another couple of machines to make an infinite leather loop. I could do with a crafting as well, really, a crafting. But the cyclic assembler, it cost me. Well, let's take this over. a cyclic assembler costs me too much. Cyclic assembler, here we go. Cyclic assembler cost me 2 tin gears. The copper and the tin gears are things that I'm lacking at the minute, so I need to find a way of getting more tin. So presumably one of the mining ages will have that. So for the minute, I'm going to have to do this by hand, changing the leather into leather tunics. I can just sit there for a little while, change a tunic into leather, make the leather into tunics, make the tunics, and so on and so on and so on. Because I don't want to put leather through the system just yet. So, export. Right, we want the precision export buses. We want 2 of those. Okay. And yeah, that's about it, really. That's about it. We're going to make a ton of stuff out of this lot. A ton. An absolute shed ton. So, export buses. Let's put some export buses along here. Precision export bus. And I'm putting them on the top at the front so that I can reach into them from down here. So I can play around with them. A difference between a basic export bus with 1 slot and a precision import bus with 8 slots and moving stacks and turning it on and off and all that kind of stuff. All of this extra is bonus for precision. Yeah. So we are going to basically export creatine. Creatine. Where's the creatine? Creatine. Okay, so let's just take 1. So the first stage here, breaking it down, we've got the leather tunics I'm going to put into the system manually, and it's going to break it down into creatine. The creatine then is going to be... Actually, I didn't need a precision export bus there. I'll change that around in a minute, because I'll need that for something else. It then breaks it down into all of these. So let's take this, plonk it down there so it doesn't break it down and move them anywhere. Okay, so what are the things that we've got here? We've got the Christian, the Flo, the Theo, and some more of that. So we've got those 3. So that creatine breaks down into those 3 elements. Okay, those 3 elements. So the next one, the precision, the reason I needed a precision export bus, I need to export those into the precision export bus as a thing that it does just automatically. And then I want it to drag all of these materials out through here into the interface. Right? Alright, okay, we got it so far. And that should bring everything into here. All the carbon and everything will start going into that. We can put all of this away again now. So now my carbon will just keep going up and up and up and up and up. However, I've already got this one set up to put carbon in there. So every time I receive a carbon into the system, it'll go back into here and make a charcoal. It's not using a lot of power. Not using a lot of power just to keep this up all the time at all. And then I've got an export bus here, exporting charcoal into the back of that, which is filling that up steadily. And when that stacks up full, this will carry on making energy, of course. But when that stacks up full, it won't push any more out. It'll just sit in the AE system with charcoal. I'll add some more furnace generators in along here. 1, 2, 3, 4 more furnace generators, because they're only really iron. I've got a furnace generator here, which seems to be keeping up with all 3 of these at the minute, anyway. So let's take that off. We know it's all working now. Now we should see chemical decomposition going all the way through. This is going to be a bit sluggish. I feel that this is going to be a bit sluggish. So I may need to put an export on here better. I may need to export it better. I could possibly bring it back instead of taking it forwards. Maybe. I want import buses on here really anyway. I want basic import buses like this just to suck it straight out and put it into the system. These hoppers are just my cheaper solution for right now because I've got so many of them. So this is a slow and cheap solution. With the AE system, using basic import buses, that'll be super quick and go straight away. So now I've got a little bit of creation and stuff on my hands. I still need an AE auto crafting system. That's a fairly big ask. I'm going to need an AE auto crafting system. Big ask indeed. To be able to auto craft leather and all that kind of stuff to make the tunics into leather and do all that decomposition. But apart from that, we are pretty good with this. Next episode, we will show you, well, I will show you, Felix G's full invention. I'm sure Felix has his own way of doing it, but this is just my interpretation of an idea he shared with me in the comments of episode 21. So full credit to him for putting me on to the subject in the first place. And hopefully, using these Minechem, we should be able to create a shed ton of rewards on our victory monument. I doubt any of it's going into here right now. Let's go. Well, I haven't opened this for a while. Victory monument open. All of these chemicals and stuff aren't going to go into here yet. Somewhere in here are the chemicals that I've just collected. Notable gases. Nope, nothing. I'm not gaining anything right now. Oh, I've got carbon. So I've managed to get carbon. But I've got a few others to collect. So I've only really ticked one box on the victory monument today. But, as you can see, a little bit more work involved. And I will be able to manipulate the Minechem a lot more successfully. A lot more successfully. So that, to me, counts as my victory monument for this end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Let me flick around. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode of Material Energy Cubed, where hopefully I've built a bit of a supply of infinite energy using Minechem. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.